Good morning, Bella Vista and Northwest Arkansas. I am so excited to be your host today. Jerry's out probably enjoying the holidays, I believe. And so today we are going to give you a preview of what to expect for 2024. And I am excited to have both presidents from two organizations that sponsor the show. Bella Vista Garden Club, Dory Hammeke, okay, and Joanne York.
Yep.
With the the Benton County Master Gardeners. I get all my B's confused here. But both organizations are sponsors for this show, and we just had a great planning meeting, didn't we, ladies?
Yes, we did.
And it's going to be exciting to see what the two organizations can come together and help everybody in the area know about gardening. Both of you guys are experts. I'm kind of there, so I learn something new every day. So I want to, again, let's just start out and give our audience a little bit of idea of the history, a little quick cliff notes. How did the Garden Club get started? How old is it?
Well, it's about 51 years old, I think, this year. It started in 1972, and it's one of the oldest clubs in Bella Vista. We have about 125 members or so, both men and women, and different ages, and some gardeners are experienced and some are neophytes.
Yeah.
We just kind of have a combination, but it's a wonderful club, has a great history, and you know, much of the work they do is really focused on giving back to our community in some way or another.
Yeah, and I think part of the Garden Club, we have a lot of master gardeners that are Garden Club
We
members.
do. Within the Garden Club, I don't know the exact number right now, but I know, I'm sure it's right around 20 or so. Mm-hmm. And that makes it really nice, too, because they tend to be a little bit, more experienced in gardening. And so oftentimes it's those master gardeners who actually help some of our new members that are less experienced.
And you're both.
That's correct.
You're both.
That's correct.
Joanne York.
Yes.
Tell us all about Joanne and the Benton County Master Gardeners.
Well, I've been a Benton County Master Gardener since 2012. Our organization started in 1944, but it was in the state in 1988, I believe. We are growing by leaps and bounds, just like the rest of the county is. When I joined, there was probably 80 members. And now we're pushing 200, and we have a class starting in the spring. We're very active in the community, and our goal is to educate the public, whether it's children or adults, in successful gardening.
We're going to get into some of those projects in a few minutes, but I'm really excited to have both of you here because they're not competitors. They work together really, really well. All right, and we're going to let people know after a while, too, about that class. Okay. Because you have what did you call him the other day? Something about...
Oh, we have a master gardener recruiter,
yes,
Don Castile, he finds people everywhere to join our class. I don't know how he does it.
And that's why we're up to almost 200. But a lot of really great new talents and new skill sets come out of those. Dory, what would you say that what are your top projects? In 23, give us a little recap.
We have a number of projects that we've actually done for many years. We help at keep all the landscaping looking beautiful at the Bella Vista Memorial Garden Cemetery. And I didn't know that much about it before I started, but it was actually designed by E. Fay Jones, who studied under Frank Lloyd Wright. It's an absolutely beautiful garden, and we've actually received awards for the work that we've done on it. But that's one that we've done for many years. We also do a lot of beautification projects around the city. Most recently, we did some cleanup at the Bella Vista signs on the north and south end of 71 as it goes through town. Over time, probably, I'm going to guess 8 years or so, we have planted more than 20,000 daffodils around the city.
The Bella Vista daffodil.
And it's the Bella Vista daffodil. It's a beautiful daffodil that's white with kind of an orange cup. And we've put it in front of many of the public buildings. And most recently, we just did that at the new public safety building. Mm-hmm. So those are a couple of projects. We do garden therapy. We have a Yard of the Month, which you're pretty familiar with.
I am. That is so much fun, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do a great job with it.
Thank
so.
you. And you have, we're going to talk about plant sales a little later, but you have, where are you? Where do you operate from?
We have a couple greenhouses up at the wastewater facility, which is on the north end of town. They're very gracious and give us sand beds that we can store our plants in through the winter. For the plant sale, which will be held on the first one will be on April 20th, and the second one will be on June 1st. Those are, the first one is plants that we grow from seed, and that includes tomatoes, coleus, and zinnias. The second one is perennials, and those are plants that have come out of our members' gardens. We dig them up, we divide them, and then we nurture them through the winter months and have them ready for our sale in April. And that's one of our major fundraisers. And the funds that come from that are used to fund scholarships.
Gotcha.
So if you were to ask me, you know, one of the biggest things or things that we're most proud of, it's really the fact that we do a lot of work to help give scholarships to students who are studying horticulture at the University of Arkansas.
That's fabulous. It's so rewarding.
It is.
Joanne, I think
Yes.
the Master Gardeners do something pretty similar. Tell us about, 23 was an incredible year, wasn't it?
It was a big year for us. We had a very successful plant sale, and our plant sale, we sponsor scholarships also. As long as the high school senior is living in Benton County, they are eligible for the scholarship as long as they are going towards plant science or horticulture or something. We gave out 4 of those this year, which was wonderful.
Yes.
A lot of our projects that we have going, this year we had a new one. Our new project was at the Hawkins House, which is a historical house in downtown Rogers. They basically asked for our help and then just kind of let us go. And we had one of our members help design it so it was era appropriate for when the house was built. That was kind of a big project. Our other big projects, of course, are our plant sale, and this year will be May 17th and 18th. Same location at the First United Methodist Church.
In Bentonville.
In Bentonville, yes. Probably one of our very active projects is at Helping Hands. We have a community garden there that goes along with the community garden in Bella Vista. And we've donated over 5,000 pounds of food to the community pantry. That's a big, big project. And this year we built a hoop house out there, which is brand new. So we're excited to starting seeds soon and keeping perennials alive over the winter. So those are just some of the things we have going.
Yes. That Helping Hands garden is actually a partnership, isn't it, with a couple, well, Helping Hands owns it. Helping Hands, what are they? They are
They're kind of a partner in our growing food for the needy of Northwest Arkansas. They gave us a plot of land many, many years ago, and we had 8 beds, I think, and we worked with a church, and now we're at 70 beds, I believe. And there's more land. They just want us to keep growing everything.
It's a great partnership.
Yes.
It really is.
Yes.
And now there are trees and figs and all kinds of amazing things.
Yes.
That new facility out there also is a good place that, don't we do a lot of teaching in those
Yes.
pavilions?
Yes,
In the pavilion?
A pavilion we got a little over a year ago, and it's nice because we can have classes out there even when the weather's bad. We do a lot of things with kids, and this year we're hoping to reach out to homeschool groups and broaden that a little bit. But there's always something going on, and the public's always welcome to stop and visit. It's a little quiet out there now, but in another month or 2, things will be cranked up a little.
So are you guys sitting around reading your seed catalogs? Both of you. I know you do.
I just got one yesterday.
Uh-oh.
They started arriving this week.
Yes, yes.
And we'll be pouring through them all during January.
Well, that's right. And with the garden club, we have an arrangement, don't we, with one of those particular...
We do.
Yeah. Can you talk about that a little?
With Brent and Becky's, and they provide bulbs. So anytime you register with them, and include the Bella Vista Garden Club in your registration, then they give a percentage of the sale back to us at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And it's a really nice partnership, and their bulbs are phenomenal.
Yes.
They're really healthy bulbs.
They really are. Are we selling the Bella Vista? Did we sell those again this year?
We did. We had a sale in late October, and we had about 1,000 bulbs, and they were a mixture of the Bella Vista daffodil and then also a blend that's designed for southern states. And we sold out
in 15 minutes?
in really short order.
Yes.
And the city took about 500, which we planted in front of the new public safety building.
You know, the plan, I think Tony Lacoste is the one that kind of said, we need to be kind of like when you drive into Texas and you see the blue bonnets, we want people to drive over the line and see the Bella Vista daffodil.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I tell you what, any of you that need any, those things multiply like crazy.
do.
So I have a lot if you want some. But it's all very good things. Let's talk a little bit about that class that's coming up. And I believe, when does it start?
The first class will be March 27th, and it will continue on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Wednesdays from 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m., and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We're hoping to catch people that are working, because in the years past we missed out on so many people because they work during the week. But the information's on our website, which I believe we'll be giving.
We'll be on the screen here in a minute.
Or you can look at Facebook. We just reposted that.
There we go.
But you need to register ahead of time, and all the information's there. Don't wait too long, because we do have a total number, and I think we already have at least 15 people committed. So we're excited to start another group.
And sometimes we have to have that in the spring and the fall, right?
Right.
To accommodate everybody.
Yes. The state has gone to primarily fall classes now, but people are excited about gardening in the spring. So that's why we're doing this.
Yes.
Because now's the time to get people thinking about gardening.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about what it means to be, you're just lucky if you are a Bella Vista garden member. We are special, and but we don't have to be certified or anything.
No.
Correct?
No.
You could just be, I invite everybody that wins the Yard of the Month, like, hey, come and join us. So I don't know how many people
We
we've
love
gotten.
it. There have been a few, I think.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't even know about it. But Joanne, we have a little different situation.
Right. To become a master gardener, you need to complete 40 hours of class training, and those are the classes that I just mentioned. All the dates are listed, and we're going to give those out. You have to be able to attend every one of those classes, because we teach things on everything, from soil to roses to lawns. And then after you complete the class, you are expected to give some volunteer time. And the first year it's 40 hours, which people go, oh, 40 hours, that's too much. But it can be done if you don't wait till the last second. So that's just kind of the basis. And the name Master Gardener, to me, it's kind of a misnomer. We're not masters of anything. We just have learned a variety of topics, and we know who to go to if somebody asks us a question about something specific.
And that's what a master is. It doesn't mean you know everything.
Right.
It means we know where to go.
Right.
We
People
have
think we're
friends.
master
I
gardeners,
know.
masters of everything, though. No.
Absolutely. I don't know, like I said earlier, I learn something new all the time, you know? It's pretty amazing. Okay, so let's do this. Let's take a little break, and then we'll come back and talk about, there are some things that can be done this time of year besides look at seed catalogs, okay? So let's take a quick break, and we'll be back in a few minutes. And we're back. Hi there. Boy, that didn't take long, did it? All right, so you know what? It's January. Well, almost. This is the January show. What are some things that as gardeners we need to be thinking about? Let's see. We haven't had any snow yet, right? So, but I think when and if we do, we need to be a little careful about ice and limb breakage and things like that on our trees, correct? Some branches may return, but it says don't try to remove ice from plants and trees, just kind of let it melt, unless you see it going like, and that's a little harder. What about melting ice? Do you guys use salt or anything like that? How do you get rid of ice on your sidewalks and things like that?
Sometimes we'll throw out grit so that, you don't slip and fall. But grit doesn't hurt your grass. And you want to be careful with putting salt on a driveway or anything like that. First of all, it's not good for your driveway, but secondly, it can really damage any of the grass around it. And you don't really want it going into sewer systems or into your drinking water.
Exactly. Cat litter?
That's a possibility, and some people use that.
It depends on what it's made from, I
Yeah.
would suppose.
A lot of it's made of clay.
Yeah.
We use sand. I don't know if you meant.
Sand is awfully
Sand
good,
will
yeah.
work,
And
yeah.
grit is just a little heavier. You see it sometimes with chickens. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that works. If you see any burned foliage, I understand we're just supposed to ignore it for the rest of the winter. Does it kind of recoup? It may not be the most beautiful thing to look at, but do we kind of give those plants a chance to revive themselves?
A lot of plants look like they're dead.
Yeah.
Don't pull them out. A few years ago, the crepe myrtles took a big hit when we had that really cold winter, but they came back. You just had to really wait. Sometimes my plants, I just leave them alone in the winter if they look bad. I think the big thing, especially with potted plants or even in ground, if we don't have enough rain, you need to do some watering. Like
Even in the winter?
Yes, we didn't have much rain up until this last storm, and there are some things in my yard I thought I need to water, just in case.
Absolutely.
And that's especially true for new trees or bushes. Those are best planted in the fall, but you want to make sure that through the winter that they have enough water to develop a healthy root system.
That's right. And while we're on there, let's talk about the fact of mulching new trees. I mean, I get so upset sometimes I want to stop and say, get that away from the bottom. How should it be? How should you mulch new trees or trees,
Well,
period?
you should mulch. I tell people to think of it as a donut. The tree is in the middle, and the mulch is around, not a volcano.
Exactly.
A volcano is where you'll see it all over town. The bark goes, 2 feet up the trunk, and eventually that tree is going to suffer some damage,
Yes.
some disease or rot.
And like you say, it's a donut, so there's a basin almost around the tree. Yeah, so I know. And a lot of times you see that in parks. You would think they would know
The
better.
city employees, no offense, but
Yes.
we need
You
to
guys do a
train.
great
We
job.
need to train them.
Absolutely. So winter annuals, do you all plant winter annuals at all? Do you do that?
Oh, are you talking about pansies or a lot of places you'll see that, and it really adds a nice bit of color, during that otherwise pretty gray season. And again, it's one of those things you just want to make sure you've got enough water going to them if we don't have precipitation.
And those decorative cabbage heads sometimes.
Yeah.
I see a lot of those in the winter as well.
I planted them, and in one day they were gone from the deer.
Oh.
I had kale, and I didn't realize that deer would eat kale, but they did. So it just kind of depends on where those plants are located, whether you're going to have good success with them. But they do add quite a bit of beauty in the winter months.
Yes, they do. What do you do for your beds during the winter? Because you've already prepped them in the fall, probably. Anything you watch your raised beds or your garden beds at all? What do you do?
I do a lot of mulch, and that's the time of year where, believe it or not, I'm thinking of weeds in the spring, and I don't like weeds. I use a lot of cardboard and mulch on top, and you don't have to go buy mulch. If you call a tree company, especially after a big storm when the trees have fallen, they are more than happy to drop their mulch for you in your yard. And that's how I get the majority of my mulch. I used to use a lot of newspaper, but it's hard to find newspaper anymore unless you go to the recycle center. But cardboard is easier to find. And if you put that down and then the mulch on top, next year, hopefully, not as many weeds.
Absolutely. Although I'm getting a few weeds now because are you guys?
Yeah.
You know, just like, wait a minute, it's 60 degrees
Because
outside.
it was warm. Yeah.
It's crazy. Absolutely. Okay, so like you said, we've talked about monitoring the water for sure over the winter months. When can you start to think about putting things in the ground? You know, we won't go into depth today on that, but when can, for instance, not planting anything in January for sure,
No.
but February? What do you think? Maybe?
Maybe. Someone once told me years ago, if you sit on the ground and it's cold on your hind end, then it's too cold for the plants. Wait until the temperature warms up. And a lot of times we get those nice spring days in April or March, and the tomatoes are in the stores. Oh, you can buy the tomatoes, but pot them in a bigger pot and wait, because the minute you put them in the ground is when we'll have that frost.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
and it
be
works
patient.
great for the big companies because they sell a lot that way because you plant them, you
Right.
kill them off, you buy them again, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I don't know about you guys, but I am pretty much a naturalist as well as everything else. And for leaves in the yard, I mulch those. I actually mow them and mulch them up. But I leave the leaves in my beds to kind of keep the, keep the weeds down. What do you? How do you guys do that?
They're also a home for a lot of insects, a lot of pollinators. So
Totally.
there's real benefit sometimes to leaving them. The best thing, I think, is if you have leaves, to shred them and then use them as mulch. You know, like if you have raised beds, it's great to put a layer, a couple inches deep of shredded leaves on it in the fall.
I put straw over mine too sometimes, just for fun.
And it keeps the weeds out.
It does for about 5 seconds. Yeah. What about the birds and the other wildlife? Like you were saying, you know, I don't take down everything and clean the bed out. I leave a few things for the birds and that kind of thing. Do you guys feed the birds?
I feed the birds. I make my own suet cakes,
Yes.
which is very easy to do. Lots of recipes out there. All you need is a little lard and some peanut butter and your seeds, and kind of put it in you could put it in a muffin tin. It works great. There's lots of recipes out there for that if you're into doing it yourself. Also, birds need water. Animals need water in the winter. So whether it's a bucket, a bird bath, just check it often, because things freeze, containers crack. So yeah, the animals, sometimes they need a little help in the wintertime.
They absolutely
And
do.
they're fun to watch.
Yeah, except when your squirrels are eating your bird feed.
Yeah, the
And
squirrels.
you're like, I love you, but get out of the feeder.
Yes.
You know what? Let's talk a little bit, because we had like I said, we had a fabulous planning session. We've got so many things to offer the audience and viewers for next year. Let's see if we can remember a few things that might be coming up. I think one of them is orchids. Something about orchids, right?
Yes.
Do you all have orchids at all?
I don't. I've never
gave
had
up.
success with
I've
them.
never, yeah, I don't.
You know, I have had, somebody once brought me this beautiful orchid as a thank you for a dinner party. I can't kill that thing no matter what I do. I ignore it.
You must have it in the right location.
I must, because
That's the trick.
Yes, and I think we're going to learn how to repot, when to repot or not to repot. We're going to do a lot of that kind of thing. Somebody's coming up, we're going to find out from Susan Esch, I think, about how to get ready for the spring. For
She's
sure.
awesome.
Isn't
Yep.
she?
She is awesome. That'll be a
She's
great,
already said
great
yes.
show.
I've already reached out to her, so
Ooh,
she's
thank
ready.
you.
Yep.
And I'm going to work hard on Andrea today when I see her,
Okay.
because she's also very good. May Day plants, didn't you
You know,
come up with that?
we're still kind of developing that whole concept, but we are hoping to do a kind of a joint effort with the Clay Guild and have pots made, and then the garden club members put plants in them for the residents of some of our senior housing units and so forth. So it should be lovely. Last year we did pots for May Day for the residents at Concordia. Made some beautiful arrangements for them to have outside. So we're looking to do that again, but to have custom pots made.
Oh, that'll be so pretty, so nice. And then I think we're going to have, we're inviting everybody to meet us in our gardens. We're going to try to do some remote shots so we can actually see what goes on at Helping Hands,
Right.
what goes on down at the wastewater facility. It's such big operations. They're just wonderful.
Yeah.
Can anybody come to those garden club meetings?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Guests are always welcome.
Yeah.
Guests
And
are
we
always
invite
welcome.
guests as well.
Right.
Now, we encourage them to join us for
Yes.
sure,
Yeah.
but some of the topics are just amazing. We are also going to talk about later in the fall, you know, what to do, or the height of the growing season, the hot and dry, what to do when it's hot and dry, other than drink a lot of water and stay indoors. And then the pumpkin lady is going to be joining us, right?
I hope so.
Yes. And we have the Benton County Fair, September-ish? August?
Yes, end of
September-ish?
September, 1st
Okay,
of October.
for sure. We're going to be talking about those birds. You know, Butch at the.
That's right.
Yeah, he's.
That's right.
You know, he's so shy, but you get him talking about a bird, and he's just amazing.
He's awesome. He's going to be the speaker at our January meeting for the garden club.
Okay, that's great. Then we're going to talk about fall cleanup, and then toward the end of the year, we're going to be talking a lot about, hopefully, having a guest for the botanical gardens.
Great.
Yeah.
Everybody should visit the botanical
Oh,
gardens.
they should.
It's probably kind of dreary right now, but there's always something to see there. Always.
And our very own Susan
Yes.
works down there. You know, she could touch something, and it would miraculously make it wonderful, right? Right. We've
She
got a lot.
definitely has a green thumb.
She does. I also want to brag a little bit on the quality of the plants that both of these organizations sell. We don't order a bunch of stuff and then resell it. It, like you said, both of you, it comes out of somebody's garden. It's been loved and cared for. It's probably got too much of something, and it's well taken care of up until the time we sell it. So it's and natives. You know, we're doing a lot more natives than we used to.
Absolutely.
So, all right. So, is there anything you'd like to say, Dory, to the audience today?
Well, we hope you'll come join us for one of our meetings and join the club. It's just a great group of people.
And I think maybe we meet where?
We meet at the Bella Vista Community Church. It's on Lancashire. And we meet on the fourth Wednesday of each month. We have social hour at 9:30, and then the meeting starts at 10.
Yeah.
And we have a guest speaker each month. It's just a great, great venue.
And Joanne, what about?
We always welcome visitors at our meetings. We meet the first Tuesday of the month, except for January. Our first meeting is February 6th, and we meet at the Church of Christ on North Walton. It's on North Walton and Northwest 8th Street in the lodge back behind. And we normally have a speaker every month, and we welcome all visitors.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, well, ladies, thank you so much for joining us today. I look forward to all the great things we're going to be teaching people. And I think Jerry always ends the program with "Stop and smell the roses," although there's not many roses to smell today.
Not right now.
But we do appreciate all of you, and we welcome you back once a month. We're going to be back here, and we're going to be doing some special shows for you. So thank you for joining us today. We appreciate all of you. Remember our great sponsors, the Bella Vista Garden Club and the Benton County Master Gardeners. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Okay.
In the garden.